What if the reason you're broke is because you're chasing money instead of building the thing that makes money chase you? Most people spend their entire life running after dollars like a dog chasing a car, and if they ever caught it, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Money isn't a target, it's a byproduct. It's the exhaust that comes out of the engine of value. You don't chase exhaust, you build the engine, and the exhaust takes care of itself. The moment you shift from how do I get money to how do I become someone worth paying, everything changes. Rich people don't wake up thinking about money. They wake up thinking about problems. Whose problem can I solve today? And how big can I solve it? The size of the problem you solve determines the size of the check you get. Chasing money keeps your brain stuck on scarcity. Chasing value keeps your brain stuck on growth. One shrinks you, one expands you. Every broke person I've ever met has one thing in common. They're obsessed with the money, not the mission. Every rich person I've ever met has one thing in common. They forgot about the money the day they fell in love with the problem. So stop asking, how do I make money? Start asking, how do I become impossible to ignore? Because the market doesn't pay people who want money. The market pays people who deserve it. What if chasing money is actually the slowest way to get rich? Sounds insane, right? But think about it. Every person sprinting after quick cash ends up taking shortcuts, cutting corners, chasing trends, jumping from opportunity to opportunity, never staying long enough to become great at anything. And greatness is the only thing that pays real money. Speed kills depth, and depth is what the market rewards. The guy chasing money jumps ship every 6 months looking for the next get-rich-quick wave. The guy chasing by money picks one skill, one lane, one obsession, and goes so deep that eventually he becomes the only choice in the room. There's no competition at the top because nobody wants to put in the boring, unsexy reps it takes to get there. Chasing money is loud, chaotic, and desperate. Building value is quiet, patient, and inevitable. You don't see it happening until one day you look up and you're the most valuable person in every room you walk into. That's not luck. That's math. Skill stacked on time equals leverage. Leverage equals money. But money was never step one. It was always the last step. The reward at the end of a boring, unglamorous process nobody wants to talk about because it doesn't look good on camera. Stop looking for the fast lane. The fast lane is a myth sold to people who refuse to do the work. What if the people who look the richest are actually the most broke? Broken time, broken health, broken peace. You've seen them. Nice car, nice house, dead eyes. They chased the money so hard they forgot to build a life to put it in. That's the trap nobody warns you about. Money without meaning is just a very expensive form of emptiness. I've seen people hit numbers that should have made them feel unstoppable. And instead they felt nothing, because the chase became the identity. And once the chase is over, there's no one left standing there. The goal was never the number. The goal was who you had to become to earn that number. The discipline, the patience, the resilience, the skill. That person is the real prize. The bank account is just proof he existed. But if you skip the becoming and only chase the having, you'll get the trophy with none of the meaning behind it. That's why lottery winners go broke again. That's why inheritance money disappears in years. Because money given without the growth attached to it doesn't stick. It doesn't know how to stay with someone who never built the character to hold it. So the real question isn't how much money do you want? It's who do you have to become to deserve it? And are you willing to become that person even if the money never shows up? That's where real wealth starts. What if your obsession with money is the exact thing pushing money away from you? Desperation has a smell, and everyone can sense it. Customers, investors, partners, everyone. When you're chasing, you're needy. When you're needy, you're negotiable. When you're negotiable, you're cheap. Nobody wants to buy from the guy who looks like he needs the sale to survive. People buy from confidence. People buy from value. People buy from someone who looks like they'd be fine either way because that person clearly isn't doing it for the money. They're doing it because they're the best at what they do. That's magnetic. That pulls money in without asking for it. The irony is brutal. The less you need the money, the more it shows up, and the more you need it, the faster it runs. So how do you flip that switch? You build so much skill, so much value, so many options that money becomes a formality instead of a lifeline. You stop negotiating from fear and start operating from abundance. That shift alone can 10x your income without changing a single strategy because people aren't paying for your product. They're paying for the energy behind it. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's competence with nothing left to prove. Build the competence first. The confidence follows, and the money follows the confidence. It was never about the money. It was always about becoming someone money wants to follow. What if everything you think you want money for isn't actually about money at all? Freedom, respect, security, love, peace, none of that is money. Money is just the vehicle people think will get them there fastest. But here's the shocking part. Most rich people still don't have freedom, still don't have peace, still don't feel secure. Why? Because they solved a math problem with an emotional formula and it never balances. You can't buy peace. You can't buy self-respect. You can't buy the feeling of being enough. Chasing money to fill an emotional hole is like pouring water into a bucket with no bottom. It disappears the moment it lands and you're left chasing more forever. The people who actually get free are the ones who fix the internal problem first. The fear, the self-doubt, the need for approval, and then built wealth on a solid foundation instead of a leaking one. That's why some multimillionaires are more anxious than the intern who just started. Because the anxiety was never about the number in the bank, it was about something they never dealt with. So before you chase another dollar, ask yourself what you're really chasing. Is it money, or is it the feeling you think money will finally give you? Because if you fix the feeling first, the money becomes a tool instead of a therapist that never actually heals you. What if the fastest way to build real wealth is to become so obsessed with giving value that money becomes an accident? Every industry-changing business, every legendary career, every person who built generational wealth, none of them started by asking, how do I get rich? They started by asking, how do I make this ridiculously better than everything else out there? They got obsessed with the craft, the customer, the outcome, and the money was simply what happened when enough people said yes. This is the part nobody wants to hear because it requires patience, and patience isn't sexy, but value compounds. Every skill you build, every problem you solve, every person you help stacks on top of the last one until you're not chasing money anymore, you're just doing your thing. And money keeps landing on your doorstep like mail. That's the goal. Not to hunt it down every single day like it's about to run out, but to build something so valuable that money has no choice but to show up, again and again, without you begging for it. This is the real shift, from hunter to magnet, from desperate to inevitable, from chasing to attracting. It takes longer than everyone wants. It takes more discipline than everyone's willing to give. But it's the only version of wealth that actually lasts, because it's built on something real instead of something rented. What if I told you that everyone chasing money right now is running in the exact wrong direction? Sit with that for a second, because it's true, and it's costing you everything. You wake up, you check your bank account, you feel behind, you hustle harder, you chase another client, another gig, another shortcut, another opportunity, and at the end of the year you're exhausted and somehow still stuck in the same place. Why? Because you've been solving the wrong problem your entire life. Money was never the problem, chasing it was. Here's what nobody tells you: money doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to value. It doesn't care how badly you need it. It doesn't care about your bills, your dreams, your deadlines. Money only moves toward one thing: usefulness. The moment you become genuinely useful to enough people, money has no choice but to show up, not because you begged for it, because it's mathematically obligated to. Think about the people you know who are actually wealthy, not flashy wealthy. I promise you, not one of them got there by staring at their bank account every day, praying for a bigger number. They got obsessed with a skill. They got obsessed with a problem. They went so deep into becoming valuable that money became a side effect, not a goal. You've been taught backwards. You've been taught to chase the result instead of building the machine that produces the result. That's like chasing a shadow. The harder you run at it, the faster it moves away, because a shadow was never something you could catch. It's something that follows you when you move toward the light instead. Value is the light. Money is the shadow. Stop chasing the shadow. Let me break the illusion for you. The people getting rich right now are not the ones asking, how can I make more money? They're asking, how can I make this so good that people can't ignore it? How can I solve this problem so completely that price becomes irrelevant? How can I become the obvious choice in a crowded room? That is the question wealthy people ask. Broke people ask, how do I get paid? Wealthy people ask, how do I get better? And here's the part that's going to sting. Chasing money makes you cheap. It makes you desperate. It makes you say yes to things you should say no to, negotiate from fear instead of confidence, and shrink yourself just to close a deal. But the moment you stop needing the money starts needing you. That's not a coincidence. That's the entire game. You think the goal is the number in your account. It's not. The goal is who you become chasing the wrong things until you finally learn to chase the right ones. Skill, discipline, patience, depth. Those are the real currencies. Money is just what they get exchanged for eventually. Every industry has been changed by someone who wasn't thinking about money when they started. They were thinking about the problem in front of them, and they refused to stop until it was solved better than anyone else had ever solved it. That obsession, not the paycheck, is what built empires. So here's my challenge to you. Stop asking how to make money. Start asking how to become someone the market cannot afford to lose. Build the skill, solve the problem, obsess over the value. Do that long enough, consistently enough, relentlessly enough, and money will stop being something you chase. It'll become something you attract. You don't need more hustle. You need a better target. Aim at value. Money will follow you home. At the end of the day, this comes down to one simple truth. Money was never meant to be chased. It was meant to be earned as a byproduct of becoming genuinely valuable. Every person who's ever built real lasting wealth did it by obsessing over a problem, a skill, or a mission, not by staring at a number and hoping it would grow through sheer desperation. Chasing money makes you desperate, cheap, and short-sighted. Building value makes you patient, magnetic, and inevitable. The moment you shift your focus from, how do I get paid, to how do I become impossible to ignore, everything in your life starts to move differently. Opportunities stop feeling like they're running from you and start showing up like they were waiting for you the whole time. So stop running after the shadow. Start walking toward the light of real skill, real value, and real growth. And let the money do what it was always supposed to do: follow you.